viewers, we want to say good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching from. This is Vision Online TV, coming to you live from the Ministry of Information at the regular press briefing February 19, 2026, where we are coming to you live. I want to say welcome to our platform this afternoon or this morning. Wherever you're watching from, we are live here at the Ministry of Information, where we are expecting the government spokesperson in President of Honorable Jerolinmek Matthew Piah, Minister of Information, to come on the government state podium this afternoon to express on behalf of the government some of the issues to be expressed this afternoon. I see the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs, Honorable Daniel Osano, who just walking in. So we are here bringing you up to speed, still waiting on Jerolinmek Matthew Piah to man the government podium into the Charles William Press Room, where we will be coming to you live from. So we want to say thank you again.
This afternoon, the Minister Jerolinmek Matthew Piah will address the press on trending national issues, providing updates on some of the issues that are trending on social media. Well, we have the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs here currently. Well, Minister Sano, what are some of the issues that the Minister will be discussing today?
Well, a lot of issues to talk about, as always. You know very well that the Ministry of Information, regular press briefing, is the official place where the government has to speak to issues. As always, our focus on serving the government development stories. Some of the things that are happening on infrastructure, electricity, investment. So there are a lot of issues as we expect the Ministry of working to make sure we are on some of the very important things that happen in the country. We also will be making some remarks on thinking issues. As an official spokesperson of the government, we announce this for the nation's listing, war listing. So, yes, this is what.
Minister Sano, will the Minister be speaking toward the restoration of the police spokesperson? Is it like that?
I'm not too sure it's something I want to elevate at this level. This is an official government platform. If somebody decides to resign their position, it's voluntary. How should that be a topical issue that we should elevate? I think the police have got a very serious team that is managing the affairs of the other nation. They can handle that by themselves. We come here and speak on issues that the nation is listening to, because this is where the news is waiting for the government.
Thank you, Minister Sano.
You're most welcome, and I look forward to seeing you.
So that was the voice of the Deputy Spokesperson of the government, Honorable Sano, who just spoke to journalists here. And so Jerolinmek Matthew Piah, we still await his president to come and address some of the national issues about the government platform, about the government. This is Vision on our TV, coming to you live from the Ministry of Information. And the moment for now, we will see Jerolinmek Matthew Piah, who will mark the government podium into the Charles William Press Room, where he will mount the government podium to bring it up to speed some of the happenings here today, the 19th day of February 2026, where you will see Minister Jerolinmek Matthew Piah, who will mount the government podium. So here comes the Minister of Information on this afternoon. He's walking into the Charles William Press room, where he will speak to national development, national issue as it relates to the government on this afternoon, on the 19th day of February 2026. Here comes Honorable Jerolinmek Matthew Piah.
Well, as you can see, the Minister of Information, Minister Jerolinmek Matthew Piah, is now walking to us, the conference where he will be addressing key national issues and providing updates on ongoing government initiatives. Well, the Acting Assistant Minister for Information Services, Lawrence Fowler, is now on the podium.
I'd like to welcome you and invite Mr. Samuel on the national podium who will introduce to you the spokesperson of the government, Mr. Samuel. Good afternoon again. We are very excited to have all of you here at the Ministry of Information. I see all of you. There are a good number of you here today. I see all of the gadgets in place. It is very encouraging that on a daily basis, the interest that the public has developed in the Ministry of Information and Press Briefing continue to increase. I mean, that alone is a testament that the work we are doing here is making some great impact out there. It's very meaningful. And so we do not intend to rest on our laurels, but to improve. So today is another edition of the Government Press Briefing. Like I said, we are excited to have you. We had a meeting with the government public relations officers yesterday. That meeting was very fruitful. And we intend to continue working, coordinating with all government PR officers across ministries, strategic commissions, with the goal of enhancing the government communication draft. So as we have all gathered, and I see your budget are in place, I want us to please bear in mind that those cell phones that continue to cause distraction, and our guest or the minister speaking want to re-emphasize that it is absolutely unacceptable. So it is not difficult. You come in the conference room, before the press conference starts, just put your phone on silent. Or just put on do not disturb. You put on do not disturb, nobody will call you. Or you will see a missed call. I show you the another technique. So thank you very much. And I'm pleased to now invite Minister Jerolinmek Matthew Piah, who will speak to you, and then we'll take questions, and you will respond to those questions. Minister Piah.
So we will listen to the Honorable Minister of Information, Honorable Jerolinmek Matthew Piah, who will give us a statement in the national government. So the judge is Tamil TV, and so my name is Morris Bala, bringing this live coverage to you.
I don't feel too well, but it's a call that was out there. So I think I hope I can stay on my feet for as long as the briefing points will take. That's a way of doing our work. I see you introduce, by the way, some of you are conducting coverage of the press conference. I know Vision has always been focused on following the files from the hallway coming in. But I see a new dynamism from the state broadcaster, LMTV, and ELBC. They need to do something new, maybe they learn from Vision. okay. It draws the assessment. It shows some level of professionalism. So I want to commend the crew for adding new flavor to the way you do your coverage of the press conference. The last time we had a EU ambassador here, she spoke on several different issues, including what the EU has been doing in Liberia, but one major thing she also talked about was that the EU and the Liberian government both organized the EU Liberia Business Forum. That forum takes place next week in the Belgian capital of Brussels. Several key government sectors will be there. The goal is, and I think the EU has done a great job in bringing together European investors to pitch to them as a country on investment opportunities that are here that seem to attract some of the European companies and investors to Liberia. So different sectors of the government will be there to engage those investors at the business forum. I will also be there myself. I leave over the weekend to go to Brussels. And while in Brussels, the Deputy Minister for Public Affairs will steer the affairs of the ministry as acting minister in collaboration with the rest of the team. It is our hope that that business forum will yield some very positive dividends. Our country is concerned about job creation. We want to expand the economy. And we can only do all of those if we sell ourselves as a country and are able to attract businesses and investors here who will provide jobs we need. The University of Liberia has been celebrating 75 years of existence as the University of Liberia. You know, they used to be called as your college, and the transition to the University of Liberia has been 75 long years. And they are celebrating. They got a number of guests from the US, mainly the Alumni Association in the Americas. They brought along the University Chorus that been established on that end. I was on a service that they organized on Sunday. And the chorus here, the one from the States, all joined together and they had a very wonderful performance. Most of the members, especially those from the UN, they appear to be aging, but their voices are still very strong. And they were extremely entertaining. But it's good to also know that as the university is celebrating 75 years of existence, they are also processing activities surrounding the 105th commencement exercises of the university, the class of 2025. They've been having different activities, and some of them have passed, but we just mentioned that on Monday, the 16th, they had their art and craft exhibition. It was held at Findel. It started at 10 a.m. On Tuesday, the 17th, they had a research symposium. That was a College of Gender Studies and Interdisciplinary Research. It also took place at Findel, 1 p.m. On Wednesday, February 18, 2026, they had their oath and honors program. The AM Doctorate College of Medicine, the School of Pharmacy, and the School of Medicine, and they were the College of Health Science, where the entities or the sectors of the university that were involved with that. On the 19th, which is today, is the faculty scholastic recognition and honoring of the education faculty. It's supposed to start 10 a.m. on the Fender campus. Probably it's moving on. Tomorrow is Friday. The 20th will be the alumni homecoming. It starts from 11 a.m. on the main campus here on Capitol Hill. On Saturday, the 21st, will be the UL Staff Association All-Star Day, and it starts at 10 a.m. at the Fendel campus. Then on the 25th, which is Wednesday, all graduate colleges will have a combined commencement exercise, and it will take place at Fendel. Then on Friday, the 27th, 2026, all of the graduate and professional schools will have their commencement convocation beginning at 9:30 a.m. at the Fendel campus. On Saturday, February 28th, will be the UL Faculty Association Offer Day. It will start from 11 a.m. at the Fendel campus. So it was meant to bring you up to speed with what is happening at the university, especially as they are doing their graduation ceremonies. It is not just about that. The government is also very intentional, strategic, and deliberate about keeping the university going. So you will note that in the current national budget, the university's budget rose to 40 million USD. And in addition to the 40 million budget, the government provided an additional $6 million to ensure that the facilities of the university, their buildings are, we've all complained about that they are refurbished and rehabilitated. The funding for that, as I said, is different from the 40 million that the government has given the university in this fiscal budget. But because we all know the state of affairs at the university, the way the structures are, additional $6 million was made available for the overall refurbishment of the facilities of the University of Nigeria. This, by the way, is a demonstration of the government's desire to see what is the country's premier higher institution of learning continue to be kept afloat and provide the kind of education that our young people need. Yesterday, there were reports of some violent activities close to the retired facilities in Nima County. A recognized group called AFCONS, Liberia Workers, they've been pursuing a reported end of project benefits. The individuals or groups involved are not linked directly with National MITAR. MITAR provides opportunity for different contracting companies and firms to perform special services in the mining area. So those entities that are normally beneficiary of that contractor agreement will then recruit contractors who will do the job on their behalf. Fortunately for them, because there's been consistency in issuing contracts, so they've always been renewing the services of their contractors. And that has gone on for about 3 or more years now. So those contractors who have been working with the entities that have been contracted, at the end of the 3 years, those companies or entities were now receiving further contract from National MITAR, which means the contractors that they recruited themselves will also now have contract. But then these contractors were saved because you are at the end of the project, so their stuff will not be reviewed. severance or end of project benefit. Severance benefits are meant for full-time employees, not contractors. But in their minds, they were entitled to it, and they've been agitating about receiving that. They assembled and protested, and during their disturbances, they obstructed the movement of AFCON senior staff. They diverted company vehicles towards Yekepa instead of Montokade. And based on reports that their violent actions were escalating and have transitioned into a riot, the Assistant Police Commissioner in Nimba, Lamin Mendy, through established chain of command, was mandated to proceed to Yekepa along with PSU officers from the regional headquarters. As a result of their operations, 27 suspects were arrested while engaged in acts of violence. Also during the confrontation, 8 police officers sustained severe injuries. The injured officers are Sergeant Benjamin Biere, Sergeant Carrington Luo, Patrolman Anders Toa, Patrolman Sam Fassa, Patrolman Emmanuel Fogo, Patrolman Abdullah Kemukai, Peter Flomo, and James Jimmy. The above injured officers were initially taken to the Achilomita Hospital for emergency medical attention and subsequently transferred to the JFK Medical Center for further treatment. All arrested suspects are currently detained pending further scrutiny and investigation. The investigations are ongoing, and the public will be provided updates as they may arrive. But it's important to also note that during the confrontation, a single barrel round was reportedly discharged from the side of the rioters, striking one police officer in the chest and causing injury. This incident clearly indicates that the rioters had a firearm in their possession. The government wants to be clear about the rights of citizens to raise grievances will always and should always be protected. Acts of lawlessness are scared away investors will not be encouraged. We know the country complains a lot about jobs. Everybody wants jobs. The jobs are not easily just created internally. It takes investors with money, like the efforts we want to make in Brussels, to see the need to invest in your country. And when they come, their investments are meant to harness and strengthen your economy, but also, most importantly, to provide jobs. If the country is perceived as a lawless country, where citizens normally take the law into their own hands when they have grievances, who's going to bring business here? Who's going to bring their investments here? And so the government frowns on these acts of violence, and that is the reason why those who have been arrested and are currently in custody will be thoroughly investigated. And once it is established that crimes were committed and the individuals committing the crimes are known, they will be charged and prosecuted to the full extent of the law as a way of deterring people from constantly engaging in acts of violence and vandalism. But more concerningly, there are people who claim to be civilians and want to express grievances will also have firearms in their possession. This is unacceptable, and that is why the actions that will be taken will be decisive. While that situation was going on in Bimba, there was another situation in the home mines area. China Union came into Liberia during the Salib administration. Apparently their business outlook was not prosperous, so they folded out. Another company came and took over from them. That company basically is starting from scratch to see what they can feed them. It is encouraging because, again, we're trying to create jobs for our citizens. But then there were obligations, according to the information we received from China Union, that are folded out. And some of the residents in that place have been demanding the new company to meet those obligations almost immediately. If a new investor is taking over from something that was a failed investment, they need to put their feet down to be able to, so they've been engaged and say, oh, yeah, we know that maybe the company will take over from gas obligation and we can work together and have it done. Again, in the midst of the dialogue going on, some people chose to get back to the usual thing, blocking roads and going out to the police, had to move in to clear them in a very forceful way. And we want to encourage them. They may have genuine cases. Dialogue should be the way out. They can lead us. That district, the Bomban, your representative, there are other leaders. They can work through their leadership to engage the new company rather than resorting to protest, blocking road, and infringing on the rights of others who are interested in freely travel. So we really want to encourage our people to be lawful. Yes, you may have grievances. Yes, it will be your right to raise those grievances, but you have to do them within the confines of the law. There have been reports that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has failed to provide salary payment for diplomatic staff in about 30 or so diplomatic missions abroad. So the ministry wishes to clarify that that information as has been circulated is not true. The country currently maintains 30 diplomatic missions overseas, and salaries and benefit payment are processed on a regular basis. So while minor administrative challenges affected a limited number of payments between October and December 2025, the issues were isolated and they have since been addressed. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning convened a joint working session on February 17, 2026 at the Ministry to review the matter and identify the source of that limited bottleneck. The review revealed that the mission in Brussels have been particularly affected after full payments processed in October were returned to the Central Bank of Liberia on 3 separate occasions. Further review established that the returned payments resulted from transmission misalignments associated with the newly implemented SWIFT banking requirements. So following those discoveries, both ministries agreed to adjust processing timelines and strengthen coordination mechanisms to better accommodate potential discrepancies that may arise between international banking systems. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs expresses its sincere appreciation to the Minister of Finance and Development Planning and his team for their prompt collaboration and commitment in resolving those limited issues. Such real-time interministerial cooperation is significantly strengthening government efficiency and effectiveness. The ministry also extends gratitude to all ambassadors and heads of mission for their continued cooperation, professionalism, and dedication to advancing Liberia's diplomatic objectives. The government reassures all stakeholders of its unwavering commitment to timely payment of salaries and benefits to the Liberian Foreign Service. Enhancement efforts will continue. Also, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Liberia and Egypt are taking important steps to deepen their bilateral relations with the signing of an MOU on diplomatic training and academic exchange on the margins of the African Union Summit that was held recently in Addis Ababa. Foreign Minister Sarah Expo-Nyanti, by SBSA, signed on behalf of the Liberian government, while Dr. Bad Akitati, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Immigration and Egyptian repatriates of Arab Republic of Egypt signed on behalf of the government. The agreement establishes a partnership between the Gabriel L. Dennis Foreign Service Institute of Liberia and Egypt's Institute of Diplomatic Studies, and is aimed at strengthening diplomatic capacity through training programs, academic exchanges, joint research, and professional collaboration. And also on that front, it's important to just mention our diplomatic engagement continuing. And yesterday, 3 ambassadors accredited near our capital as the new ambassador of Congo, of Venezuela, and Indonesia presented their letters of credence to the President at the Executive Mansion. The Ministry of Public Works has intentionally chosen that they will be deliberate. They will continue to put themselves in the field, do routine and regular inspection of all infrastructure works that are taking place, and the goal is to ensure that the projects are being given the attention they need, that the implementation pace is continuing, and that major timelines can be met. So just yesterday, again, the minister was out in the field, visiting different places, like the Second Boulevard, the Old Road area, towards the St. Paul Bridge, towards Caldwell, travel as far as Grand Cape Montgomery, and at the Medina Rubber Road that is witnessing currently as we speak, actual pavement, asphalt pavement, and they will continue to do so because the goal is they want to do as much as can be done before we are eventually faced with the environmental condition that can slow down road work, which is when we get deeper into the rainy season. But like I told you at the last press conference, we prepared to set the date to break ground so that Babylon can commence the construction work on the Monrovia to Play to Tottenham Bright to Ramoscope Road. They have been mobilizing, the equipment and other things have been mobilized. The mobilization site is in Sastown. Sastown is along the road to Tottenham, and that is a clear indication that that ratification that took place of the Babylon agreement was not just mere formality. There was an agreement of substance, and all steps have been taken to ensure that the commencement of the work on that corridor will start very soon. Ministry of Education convened the 2026 local scholarship. And this points to the fact that the government is also paying keen attention in the educational sector, providing both local and international scholarship. So they convened the 2026 local scholarship orientation and contract signing ceremonies for over 800 beneficiaries, marking an important step in strengthening equitable access to higher education across Liberia. The event on the theme, the signature of promise, requires scholarship beneficiaries to formally sign contracts committing not only to academic performance, but to integrity, to discipline, and to national service. The Minister of Education reminded the students that this moment is both an opportunity, but it's also an obligation. She added that their signatures represents responsibility to self, to their families, and to the country. The ministry's local scholarship program is grounded in merit, in fairness, and inclusion, ensuring students from all counties have access to opportunity based on achievement. The program also includes structured community service, reinforcing the link between education and national development. The government congratulated the new cohort of 800 beneficiaries and look forward to the impact they will make across Liberia. As you will be aware, based on the reaffirmation that Liberia will have Compact 2, the Ministry of Finance have been basically working with the MCC to structure the leadership that will oversee the implementation of the Compact. So the ministry, through their Compact Development Office, is inviting applications for a number of positions. One, we will need a finance, investment, and trade specialist. The role focuses on driving private sector investment, strengthening trade and competitiveness, and helping Liberia to leverage blended finance and public-private partnership on the Meridian Challenge Corporation. Two, they are seeking application for environmental and social performance specialists. This position will support Liberia's engagement with the MCC by ensuring that environmental, climate, and social considerations are fully integrated into national development planning and project design. Three, they are seeking application for a gender and social inclusion specialist. The role is about impact. It will help to shape national development projects by ensuring that women, vulnerable groups, and marginalized communities are fully included in Liberia's economic growth agenda under the MCC Compact. Those interested in these positions are encouraged to visit the Ministry of Finance website or their social media page for details on how to apply. We got me already going here, Barry, we'll see it, I'm Barry. I was first conference, you're sleeping it out, you're ready. What? Send us one, man. Are you sleeping it out? You see that, man? The government of Liberia, via the National Lottery Authority, has launched a nationwide crackdown on underage gambling. The operation deploys inspectors to betting shops to enforce law prohibiting minors from gambling. The lottery authority warns that operators violating age restriction will face penalties, suspensions, and closure. The crackdown also targets unlicensed operators. The initiative is driven by concerns over the social and psychological harm that gambling causes for young people, including addiction, poor academic performance, amongst others. While the enforcement aims to reduce access immediately, it is noted that the long-term success will require pairing it with a broader strategy. They will include public awareness campaigns, community reporting, and creating alternative economic opportunities for young people to address the root cause that draw them to gambling. The National Food Authority has received a delegation from the U.S. through the embassy at the port of Buchanan, where they held the strategic tour focused on investment readiness and operational stability. The delegation, led by the Jardine Affairs at the U.S. Embassy, toured the facilities along with the Avanho Atlantic Country Manager, Eric King, and technical staff. They commended the NPA and port management for sustaining port operations and fostering an environment that enables trade and investment. They lauded the leadership of the MPA for maintaining a constructive working relationship with Avanho Atlantic and highlighted key operational developments pending final regulatory approval. And I just wanted to also mention, as I spoke about the University of Liberia graduation period, that two of the members of the senior management team at this ministry are part of the 2025 graduating class. Mayor Louisa Hill, who is our Assistant Minister for National Branding and New Media, will be conferred a degree in law from the Louis Arthur Green School of Law, while the Deputy Minister for Public Affairs, your second minister who's dealing with you every day, will be conferred upon an MA degree in International Relations from the Ibrahim Masri Babangida School of International Studies. So I wanted to also use this platform to congratulate the two senior managers for pursuing higher education at the nation's most prestigious tertiary institution, the University of Liberia. We hope that the degrees will, in a way, enhance the effectiveness that is required to fully discharge their duties here at the Ministry of Information. Thank you for that.
So we listen to journalists who are here to cover press conferences and
Thank you. And yes, one more police and of course some people from this side of the river. And we say thank you to Mr. Piah for the clarity. But permit me to give you some of the speculation, especially when it comes to the University of Liberia, including some of these people who are carrying speculation, they are stakeholders as well, like Honorable Simeon Freeman. They have always said that the University of Liberia is a state-run university, and the government throw away a lot of money in making sure that the university is okay. For example, last fiscal year, the University of Liberia, the government allotted about 30 million. When divided 30 million to about 20,000 students, then you will have about a student to, $1,000. But they have said, despite the money being given to the University of Liberia, you still have the university in a kind of, shape it is. This time around, the government has allotted about 40 million. And you clarify that the government has decided to, make sure that the university get in good shape. My question is, how fast that the public now will now see the university as it is, so that we can have a better university? Remember, this is a Steve University. Thank you.
So my name is James and Piah, and I'm both of the George MOI. Our minister, thank you so much for the information given to us with regard to development in the country. Our minister, in terms of development here, we see improving facilities across the country. In recent time, I was in Bond County, opposite the Bond University. There is a building there, it's called the Bond Craft. I'm learning that building belongs to the use of information. It was meant to annex this ministry. I don't know whether that has been brought to your attention or it's not. My question is, are you in the know of that building that is the building that belongs to the use of information to annex, if not, a development that will dispatch manpower to look at that building, because there are millions and there is no development as government is facilities.
My name is Alison Smo and I report for Today Liberia Television. Thank you, Minister, for your presentation this afternoon. It's very good to propagate the government message to the people. But I want to understand something concerning national security in the country. In the light of recent security challenges in parts of Liberia, what new measures is the government putting in place to ensure the safety of lives and property of citizens? Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Jackson Hadi Silva and I report for 17. Mr. Minister, my question has to do with the security, the community part, signed with Sierra Leone in terms of border security and combating transnational. Good afternoon, Mr. Minister. Yeah, thanks for passing the message to the people of Liberia. Yeah, my question has to do with the community, the security pact signed by Sierra Leone and Liberia when it comes to transnational crimes. Yeah, I think over the past times we've seen Sierra Leone and Liberia doing joint border patrol, which is very good, protecting our borders and making sure that threats that exist in the past are being avoided. Now I'm asking whether similar measures have been considered in doing such between Ivory Coast and Liberia, Guinea, and other parts of the borders that look much more vulnerable.
My name is Aruna Ibupugi and I report for Place FM. Mr. Minister, I want to say thank you very much. We recognize your effort, even though you are ill, but to make your way here to come and inform the Liberian people about the workings of their government. Now, my concern has to do with this burning issue that has been on the internet since last week, concerning a group of people calling themselves National Fuller Security of Liberia. Now, my question is, because they put out a release saying that the government is aware of their existence, and then we saw the Ministry of Justice putting out a release saying that they are not aware of their existence. So if these people go through the rightful procedure and then they are registered, and then will the government grant them permit in order for them to be able to operate within Liberia? My second question.
One question.
Good afternoon, and I'm Larry Estevez. I report for Legend News Africa. Thanks to Mr. Sino and the other senior management staff for achieving that educational achievement. And my concern also Mr. Piah. Mr. Piah, we have 15 counties in Liberia. Out of the 15 counties, we have over 15 tracks. And out of those tracks, I'm going to see Niba and Lofa, the photos here, covering our press conferences to incorporate the talent to our citizens, especially the rural people who are only Lofa and Niba. Because of maybe an executive order.
My name is George Momo, and I report for the Liberian State. So, the needs or the effort by the government in our rural sector, the prints are on the wall. But there is this concern by thousands of citizens residing in the City View community. There is a stretch of road from Lone Star gas station towards the City View community to the Quadland. We saw that project years ago, close to campaign stop and campaign king, a pickup after election, a stop. So, and that community play host to the mission of hope for the disabled. So I'm concerned whether the Ministry of Public Works have that role on their plate in terms of getting our work done. Thank you.
So thank you, I'm embarrassed on final report for ENS Liberia. Mr. Minister, Liberia is a country is a nation of tradition and norms. With the issue of sodomy, there's a lot of increase of sensitive sodomy in our nation. Because I've been going through the pen on 1976 on sodomy and it is punishable by crime to a year in prison. And it's a misdemeanor, that is a lesser crime to felony. What is the government doing to ensuring that the aspect of sodomy is of financial crimes and actions are more heavier punishable than they can be compared to rape as well?
My name is Joseph Kapula and I'm reporting for KFM. A couple of months ago, the government of Liberia fined Liberian Christian Academy $250,000. And some administrators of that institution were undergoing investigation. As we speak, the school they have resumed their normal academic activities. So I want to know whether the government is aware of the activities in the Soviet community. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Minister Piah, and to your platform guests as well. I'm Favor Kowe and I report for Prime FM. The issue of the presidential villa project, which is ongoing in Lofa County, of course, it has lost from the news now. I'd like to bring this to attention. The government announced that the project is intended to host major MRU meetings. So I want to know, has the government made efforts in seeking financial assistance from those MRU member states, or is it just a goodwill project being solely implemented by the government? Thank you.
I'm Samuel Johnson, I report for Terror Online Television. Just a few days ago, the Supreme Court handed down a ruling in favor of Enfield former Director General Chris Tuba Young, and the court in its ruling gave two options to the government to either reinstate Director Young or either pay him for the remaining 5-year term. And since then, the government of Liberia hasn't said anything about the ruling of the Supreme Court. So I wanted to know as to whether the court will reinstate Dr. Young or the court will pay him off.
So those were all the questions from the journalists who are here to attend this important press briefing today. So we listen to the Honorable Minister as he responds to those questions.
subsequent recommendation from the board calling for a review. As a country of law, we thought that the process that led to his removal was not properly done. So he went to court. The court said the justice in chief, because he prayed the court for prohibition, so the justice in chief said why he quoted. I'm sure the authority of the president that removed him followed the court process, and we'll see what the next actions are. I can't preempt or guess why it is. But the court is the court, and I want to believe, especially the Supreme Court, is the final arbiter of justice. But after we've had some conversation with the most appropriate authorities, and maybe we'll let you know where we stand. According to you, the court gave two options: going back or paying. What you say, right?
Sure.
So we'll see what action will be taken. So the Ministry of Information, the credits and the due recognition of media institutions to cover the Ministry's press briefing. If you are one of the media institutions covering the press briefing and you choose to put a VAR reporter or Mandingo reporter or Crown reporter on your team, I bet you get a member of your team. So we don't dictate to, I think the two language announcers you gave reference to are brought by ELBC, right? We don't dictate to ELBC, we don't bring the person. But since you have noticed that the two reporters are from Lima and Lofa, I don't know how to do it, whether you lie on ELBC that one are doing any talk. Then why you're going to bring one Mandingo, the other man bring one Crown, the other man one EC, then all the tribe will be here. You know, and I think part of the challenge we have is that we read this automatically. And I guess Larry's question is informed by the fact that, okay, President Baka is from Lofa. So when I come from Nima, so they wouldn't bring in Nima and Lofa. And that's the only mindset I think we generate that kind of question. So each of you who are from different media institutions, if you want to include on your team a travel announcer, do it. And say you who are part of a press school here and you talk among yourself, you can ask, okay, you're busy, you're already bringing Nima and Lofa, right? Yeah. Spoon, bring VAR and Gura. KMTV, bring Crime, Mandingo. You, then, all of a sudden you have all the tribes here that you want to see. But the ministry's press conference is eventually relayed and repeated on multiple community radio stations. In addition to the fact that ELBC has, how do you call the station? I know they get Metro, which is for music, and they get another, yeah, they got their language stuff, and all that you hear on that language portion is programming in the dialect. And I'm sure part of what they do is when the press conference is over, the language broadcasters can translate the things we say here into the vernacular to broadcast it to our people across the country. So the fellow who asked for the stretch of road, you say he's from what, Jacob? It's a good question, but I don't have the answer because I'm not the Minister of Public Works. I will elevate your concern to the Minister of Public Works so that by the next time I come back, I will have an answer for you. Sodomy. See, what do you call it, sodomy? It's sex. It's just that men with men. So, if a man, for example, forces somebody, forces another man into having sex, it still covers, it is covered that's the reason why the people who had a case with the reported case with a 15-year-old, that's why they are still in jail, because the rape law says if the persons you have your sexual interaction with is a minor, then of course you beyond that bar until the matter is adjudicated. It's not bearable. So I guess that is strong. And if you look at how the laws are made, when you bring in reference to that specifically defined sodomy, because sodomy will also qualify depending on the circumstance on which is happening, the rape law will take precedence. But if there is a need, like you said, that they can revisit whatever that law is, strengthen it, I don't think there will be anything wrong with that. Yes, we announced here based on report from the Ministry of Education about the action they took against the school. If the school have resumed activity according to what you said, maybe they've met the conditions of their penalty. But if they do it in an unauthorized manner, we verify that from the Ministry of Education, or we bring it to the attention that this is what some of you who are media people said. When we spoke to the MRA presidential staff, after all the law that he said the laws are stopped. The laws stopped because we provided the information that was not there before. But if you're in the press conference that day, we did say it's a government of Liberia project, meaning the government was the key funder, but that we're engaging our one river regional partner so that they too will have an impact, financial or whatever it is in the project. At that point, we didn't say what they are giving because we didn't have the facts. I also can't say now whether they're giving anything, but the program solicits additional support. And those support will include from American countries. So the government has done its part. We gave the university 40 million in the budget. We get 6 million for renovation. When the renovation starts, that's a good question, but probably we will ask the year administrator because if the government put money in the budget, say for the Ministry of Information to be refurbished. Now the leadership of the Ministry of Information, you got to put that refurbishment into action. So maybe when you see Dr. Piah, it will be good to ask and say, look, the government has said they gave you 6 million. And we're watching, we'll see what the renovation will be. They have started, we see when you start. And maybe Dr. Piah will tell you exactly when they intend to start the renovation. But from the perspective of the government, we see it as an imperative. That's how we put the money there. And we hope they can do all the things they're supposed to do, including procurement process, to hire a contractor, etc., so that the renovation work on the university's facilities can kick off. No, am I aware that the ministry has a building in one country or whatever you mentioned? It is something that we can check. If the government is putting measures together to improve security, those measures will be security information. It will not be for me to come to a press conference and say this is what the government will do, this is strategy they will use, this is the other thing they will do to enhance security. Then you are supposed to know what security is in the first place. But the government knows that its primary responsibility, included, is the protection of life and property. How they do it is something that security sector people plan and execute on a routine basis. They don't come and discuss with plans and strategies publicly. The government has made its position clear on the fuller security. What is said to you that government knows about it, and the same government is saying no, and government says we know about it. The government position is the government position. But let them face something square. You are all Nigerians, forget about you being journalists. Do we want to have troubling, motivated security arrangement all across our country? The better people will earn the money to have better security, national security guard, TC national security guard, Crown national security guard. I mean, just think about it. It's not for me to convince you, but you are Nigerians, like I said. Think about what kind of country we want to have. The national security forces of the country got the obligation to protect. Then we listen to things that some people say, oh yeah, they're there to protect us, doing this one, doing this. Every one of us who need protection will get the protection from the states. If you're not taking something and you don't believe that the environment for why you're not taking is safe, that's what the national police is there for. You can't say because you want security, so your crime, do yourself for me crime, man not do your for me, man security. It's not heard of. And the government has said, inflect them through the Ministry of Justice. No such group exists, and they will encourage the establishment and operation of tribal-based security arrangements. That remains the government position. Security part of Sierra Leone, hoping that you can also extend it to Ivory Coast and Guinea. That's a conversation we can have with the National Security Council. You know whether one already exists or they're working towards one. I think those were your questions. So maybe or something that you can remind me, but we just talked also when we're getting ready to start the press conference. Distinguished personalities walks in. Dr. Moses. You see, Blokanje. Blokanje. So it's a class of it. Dr. Moses Blokanje Jackson, former Assistant Minister for Teachers and Education, under the Ellen Johnson Saliva administration. I guess currently he's a lecturer at Stella Maris Graduate School, at the Adventist University Graduate School. He's a member of the board of LIBA and a citizen of Riverside County. So Chief, we just wanted to recognize you and say thank you for passing through to see what we do here every Tuesday and Thursday in the MOI Press Briefing. But just in case there was a desire to maybe use 1 minute or 2 minutes to say something, we can grant you that one or two. It's okay? All right. So thank you for today. You guys will meet again on Tuesday, but then I will not be here, so I'm traveling over the weekend. I hope whatever processes, medical processes I'm going through will make me stronger. I might better be able to travel over the weekend as I should. I guess we will be here next week with the afternoon so that Sunday. Thank you.
So that was the 19th day of February 2026 press briefing here at the Charles William Press Room, where we brought you the Ministry of Information press briefing here on today. So we want to say thank you. This is a vision on TV. We came to you live from Liberation Information. Thank you for watching and have yourself a wonderful and God bless day from our nation capital, Monrovia.